before you accept appointment as an auditor, there are procedures you need to follow. This is what we are coming to look at now. Client acceptance procedures or accepting appointment as auditors. So what do we need to look out for? So quickly, I share the screen, then we'll look at it. So in accepting procedures, in accepting your role, appointment as an auditor, you want to understand the importance of screening the clients and preconditions for accepting it and the process of accepting it, and then what we know to be the letter of engagement, any ethical considerations with a new client, and what do we mean by a professional etiquette, letter of professional etiquette letter. Okay, all right. So changes in appointment. Auditors may fall out with the clients, they may be rotated, they may be told that the client has been bought out, so new auditors are taking over, or the auditor may be too small for the company he or she is auditing, they are auditing. They may have a personality clash. You could realize that the client is no longer suitable or trustworthy, or someone we could want to align with. Now, if aggrieved, the auditor may make written representations to shareholders that to speak at an AGM. It is usually unusual. It is unusual for it to happen, but if it happens, they present their case. Now, key issues for the incoming auditor. Find out about the client, okay? Send a letter to the previous auditor, what we call the professional etiquette letter, and ask him, is there any reason why I shouldn't accept this appointment? Make sure there's no conflict of interest. Now, the outgoing auditor may have the right to, or right of lien, a right to retain, or has a lien over the client books and papers. If the client is still owing the outgoing auditor, he has not paid them, he can retain, the outgoing auditor can claim or retain these books. ISA 210 talks about the audit engagement, agreeing the terms of the audit engagement. If the potential client imposes a limitation on scope, and you think that this one will affect your work, then what is happening that don't accept the engagement at all. If you want to hire me and you will not allow me to do the work as I'm supposed to do, you shouldn't accept the audit at all, unless by law you are required to accept that appointment. So as an auditor, consider every circumstances that will impair your position, that will create threats to your compliance with fundamental ethical principles. Now we have what we call the letter of engagement. So is there like a contract between the auditor and the client? What does it state? So it includes the nature of the work I'm going to do, the objective, the scope of the audit, my responsibilities as the auditor, responsibilities of the management in terms of this audit, any financial reporting framework which was used to prepare the account. That is what will guide me as an auditor to audit. We also talk of any expected report they expect from us, and any disclaimer paragraph that audit report is for use of shareholders only. So a clause to state that this thing I'm working on, the report will only go to shareholders. It's meant for the consumption of the shareholders. Now, you must agree this letter of engagement, sign it before you start work. And the evidence must be shown by client signing and the board in the board minutes that they have agreed to sign this. Okay. Group accounts. At this level, we wouldn't worry our head much about group account, but the principle is the same. Okay. If you sign with the group, the parent company, you have to sign with a separate subsidiary. Okay. That's the question. So when the auditor of a parent company is also the auditor of a subsidiary, branch, or division of the group, the audit firm must decide whether to issue a single letter to the entire group or separate letters to each of them, whichever is convenient to you as the audit firm. Now, if the audit firm sends one letter relating to the group, it is recommended that the firm should identify in the letter that there are other subsidiaries over which I'll be auditing. Okay. Relationship with outgoing auditor is a fraternity. Let me put it in code. It's a fraternity. So before you accept any audit, write to to the previous auditor. Ask, is there any professional reason why I shouldn't accept this audit? If the client tells you that, no, you can't contact the outgoing auditor, then please turn down the audit appointment. Don't go for it at all. If he allows you to go on, then the outgoing auditor must give you professional reasons or professional problems they have had with the client. Dispute, unpaid fees, those ones should be highlighted. Then you can take your stand. KYC, like as in marketing, the same thing is here. Know your clients, okay? So get to know things like, what does the company do? Which industry is the company in? What is the reputation of the company in the industry? What organizational structure does it have? What can its last account tell us about the business and its finances? Have the previous auditor had any problem with the potential client? What do they want? Why do they want to change the auditors? Assuming we are not the first auditor. If we are, then that's a different story. Don't ask that question. Other factors you should ask, what are the risks attached to this industry in which this client operates? Any financial issues, operational issues? What is the size of the client? Can we handle this audit? Do we have the resources? Are there any special reporting requirements? Any potential conflicts of interest? These are questions you should ask. Then you assess the risk. In risk assessment, you should consider the risk of fraudulent activities taking place in that company, whether the company is operating in a depressed economic sector. Look at the previous audit history, the abilities of the management of the company to prepare a set of financial statements, and understand respective roles and any issues that could affect the scope of work you will be undertaking. The books and documents. Audit records belong to who? The auditor. Outgoing auditor should provide incoming auditor with reasonable crossover information with the client's permission, of course. Auditors, if clients do not pay us, we have right of lien over the books, over their books. Okay, provided it is validly obtained. The client has no right to our working papers, to access our working papers, unless in the court of law we are called to defend and we can go present evidence from our working papers. Now, disclosure of content, like I said, of the working papers, unless a court has asked us, or unless it is in the public interest, then you can disclose this, right? Personnel, make sure you bring the required skill set for the audit as per the bid you placed. You say you bring 5 senior auditors, 3 associate auditors. Make sure you bring the correct, right skill set. Training programs, including ethical and quality control processes, are also important. People we are choosing for the audit, are they fit for the assignment? Do they have the right skills? Are they having any conflicts, any interest in the company? Can we have adequate supervision and review of the work we want to do? Do we know the client very well? We have to undertake some audit briefing before we go on to the floor to work. Quality of performance is important. Have a group meeting as auditors, brief the engagement team about any risk you may have assessed. Let us understand the documentation, the processes for complying with standards, requirements for consultation within the engagement team. All of us must be involved when we are discussing key audit issues. Supervision must be done at every level, at the field level, report level, planning level. All supervision must be clearly set out. Notification and review of judgment decisions are also important. Undertake a hot or cold review. Go find the meaning of what a hot or cold review is. It's just easy to understand, okay? Then ensure that policies and procedures are up to date. That is it. I'll end here, and then I'll say all the best when it comes to issues of accepting clients audit procedures. Okay, questions are here, quite interactive, case study related, so that you can always use this to test your understanding of the topic on accepting appointments as auditors. All right, that is it here, friends, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.